Oh, okay, there we go. Alrighty. Well, I'm running a little late as usual. Sorry about that. So this is what I was playing around with this week. Cacti. So I thought what I'd do is, let's see if I can pull this up a little bit. I thought that I would try to do another one, and I started a drawing, and let me just pop out my chat here for a second. There we go. All right, so I started drawing this and then I realized I didn't really do it right. So I need a big eraser, which I think is in my other kit. So maybe I'll just start a new page. And we'll tape this down and we'll do another cactus drawing because I could do a larger one, but we'll just stick with this for right now. I want to do one with the mountains in the background because they're so pretty here. And if you look on our Facebook Sketchbook Sunday Facebook page, you can see some images that I posted of the cactus that I see when I take my walks here. And I don't think there's, maybe I'll make my face here a little bigger so I'll move myself down so everybody can see me. Okay, we're gonna have a lot to edit. All right, so let's make this a little more big. There we go. And so yeah, let's show you this one. Now I wanted to do it with the shadow. I want to make the shadow a little less, and I want to put real mountains here in the background that you can see, just a hint of it. And so I started to draw this one, and then I realized which from totally being distracted, my cactus is not here in the foreground, it's in the midground, and so it looks absolutely ridiculous and huge. So we're gonna just forget about this one because that's not right, and I don't have time to erase it right now, so we'll just forget about it and start another one, which I've already got taped up, and we'll do it kind of quickly. So right here. So we're going to put our foreground here with our cactus, and we're going to put some mountains back here. And I like the cacti out here in the desert that have these crazy, let me pull up my Pinterest and show you. I have some pictures, lots of pictures that I've taken this week too, but if we just go desert, cacti, we'll do, well, let's do painting and see what comes up. So, okay, so this was one that I posted today on that might be one. And see how pretty they are? They're really colorful. And we can scroll up and get more. And what's cool is when the shadows fall across the cactus, or they fall on the ground and make interesting shapes. And I like the ones that look like Mickey Mouse. But I also don't want to do just a cactus, so I want to do a landscape with the cactus in the landscape. So let's see if, let's go back. You can see the ones that I posted. Oh wait, let's go back here. Desert landscape. Let me see. Desert landscape. Ooh, look at that one. Now this one's pretty. So we want some landscape in the background, so we'll just put in these kind of mountain shapes from the desert. And ooh, wow, look at that beautiful tree. That's really pretty. I love these orange blossoms on whatever this bush is here. Ooh, that's pretty too. So maybe, but my main focus is going to be this cactus. So the background will be just a misty hint of whatever's going on back there. And so if you use images of that pink cactus on our Facebook page, here, in fact, let's just go pink cactus. There we go. Okay, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Isn't that cool? All right, so look at those colors. And in the back we just have that. Maybe even you could put some cactus, some other cactus shapes back there if you wanted to. Or you can make it all about a big huge cactus and put it here, which, you know, that might be kind of fun. I'm liking the shape of this big huge guy here. So let's draw him in there. And these things get attached here. It's funny the way they come off. Like this main stalk like this. I'm going to adjust my shade so it's not reflecting light on there. Ooh, that looks pretty dark. Not going to work. Let's lighten that back up. Sorry, my computer's on top of my my iPad pencil. All right. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to put this here. This comes down in the front of here, and this one kind of goes behind it. And then this guy over here. There's sort of these striations, these stripes in this cactus. So there we go, that's kind of cool. And I really like this sort of deserty dirt landscape with maybe a little path going in there. And see the path? So you just draw a few simple lines to indicate that path on there. And we'll put a cactus here in the distance as well. I don't have any experience drawing cactus because I haven't really done any painting in the Southwest before, but I love this sort of wispy stuff back there, and then these weeds basically in the foreground. And there's a few branches. They almost look like eucalyptus leaves. Some of these are real round, coin-shaped. I don't know what they are, but I like the idea of a few of those in there. And if you just squint, you can see that this path is real dark here, so let's darken up this side of it. Maybe it runs like that. Let's get that out of there. And I think it runs back there. And back in that direction as well. I'm adjusting my shapes here to make my path kind of go the way I want it. A little bit more light on this. So we can start this way. And we can edit it. As much as we want. I like the idea of this little bush kind of intersecting here with that cactus. Okay. So this is a real quick sketch to kind of get familiar with my new desert landscape, and let's rock and roll. So I see we got a couple people. Who's out there? Send me a text. All right. Now, we're thinking about a color palette. I love this green and pink. So that's kind of a desert rosy pink. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get that look. What I might need is my other palette, because I'm thinking I have a really pretty dusty pink color, but I've got to find my other. Hold on one second. Let me put on my fancy BRB sign and I'll go get it. All right, so I have a whole stack of watercolor supplies that I left. So we have moved to the desert and we are getting settled. And so everything is upside down pretty much and turned around. Turned around, upside down, and everything else. Here's a couple palette magazines from, oops. All right, and here's my trusty dusty sketchbook that I like. Okay. Now, what else is in here? All right, so now, okay. What I wanted was this pink color. Well, there it is. There's opera. That'll work, and then I can mix it with this to make it a little dustier. I can mix it with some other opaque pigment. And I want to play with that a little bit with a scratch of paper to kind of figure that out. So who's going to paint today this cactus scene with me? Yobi. Okay. All right, so this is good. We're just going to use this and experiment with some of these colors. I like that dusty rose. So if I use a little bit of opera, ooh, that's a beautiful pink. Okay, and then let's, but it's too bright. So let's tone it down with a little bit of this opaque Now that looks about right. And what might look really nice is if I put a little burnt sienna next to that. There we go. Let's get a little more burnt sienna. Now we have something interesting. And these are good warm colors. Now if we go to the cool side, we're going to get some leftovers here in my palette that I'll just... This is a blue-gray that's just leftover paint. And it's probably a mixture of alizarin crimson, ultramarine, and burnt sienna. We'll go ahead and... This... Ooh, look what it does with the pink. Makes a really nice, it pushes the pink around and makes some really interesting. See how I drop it in there and it's pushing the pink, the opera around. Now opera is a color that's pretty fugitive, so I would be careful with it if you're looking for something that's going to last 100 years. It may lose some of its brilliance as it ages. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And then to get some really darks, and then a green for the cactus. We want a muted green. And I have a hooker green here. And I also have a green gold, Daniel Smith, which is really bright right now for some reason. Green gold. And let's try one more crazy green, okay? Let's try this phthalo green light. Now these all are just as bright as can be, and we don't want that. So I think what we need to do is tone them down. So what I want to do, I found my spray bottle. Woohoo! We want to tone these down with some blue and brown because we want a dusty kind of green color. And I'm thinking I really like this Viridian as well, but let's see what happens if we take a little burnt sienna into this one. That warms it up kind of nicely for the bottom portion maybe, and a little bit of to darken it. A little ultramarine, a little burnt sienna. It's still pretty bright though. Same thing with this one. Now this one might do better with those. I need more burnt sienna. Or we could experiment with something else. I kind of like the blue-green in there though. This is kind of cool. Make sure that's... Let's take this off of here. So I can get that looking good. All right. Let's try a little bit of this. Sometimes when you go to the opposite, you neutralize the color. So the opposite of green is red. So if I go ahead and put in this sort of burnt orange color, just drop that in here and there. You can play around with those cactus colors and decide what you want. I think my least favorite are these bright ones, which just aren't going to work. So I'm just going to add Viridian to that. And that cools it off a bit. Maybe a little bit more. And like I've said before 100 times, Viridian is a little bit harder to reconstitute, so it's better if you put out a fresh dollop of it before you paint. Or you can scrub your brush on there if it's real hard and dried up and just try to pick it up. Ooh, this one has made some really nice, interesting colors. So that one I started with, well, I guess that was Viridian, wasn't it? And then maybe I should mark it so we know. So we had, over here we started with Hooker's green, I believe. And this one we went down to green gold. And this one here was phthalo green light. And this one here was Viridian. And this one is doing some cool things when I added some darker tones with, I think that's a Quin Burnt Orange. And I've dropped in a little bit more Viridian and some Burnt Sienna. I recently got a tube of Quin Burnt Sienna, but I don't know where it is right now. So I'm all messed up because of the move. But I'm liking what these are doing, especially the Viridian. I'm very fond of Viridian, but if I wanted it more green, I could use Hooker's green. And I'm seeing a lot of blue in this cactus, like a dusty Viridian blue-green. And I think if I try that again, right here, and I go ahead and make my cactus shapes on here. Look at this. How fun is this? Okay. And you can see the Viridian is, it's leaving little pigment particles in there. But I like it when I add the ultramarine to that. Wet into wet. And then a little bit of this burnt orange. That might be a little bit too much, but we'll just drop in a little bit more Viridian there to move some of those colors around. I don't want them to blend together all the way because then they would be boring. It's kind of fun to play with these cactus shapes. We'll make that one longer. There we go. All right. And I think with between this here and then our background of a little bit of ultramarine mixed with some leftover burnt sienna, that'll look nice in the background. right there. And the ultramarine, we've already used that in our cacti here, so that'll come together nicely. And then if we hit it with the opera down in front, and in addition to the opera, we may need a little bit of a ground color, so that's where I'll dig into this opaque. I gotta think of the name of this color. I've forgotten what it is right now, but it'll come to me. It's a creamy white, sort of. If I look at my paint tubes, I can tell you, but I have to find them. See, it's like just a creamy, mushroomy white, opaque. And that's what I'm going to lay in for the foreground of the desert floor. Wow, that's pretty. And if I want to touch it with a hint of other color, that's too much, but there's my the same color that's in the cactus, that burnt orange. And so we can get a nice foreground color of that going on. And when I'm working with the color, I like to have some of it mixed up on my palette, which is on my big palette, and then so then I can sprinkle in some of these. I can really mix up a dusty rose color here. And I almost feel like I need a little burnt sienna. Trying to mix up a puddle of it here to warm up some of that desert path that's going to come around like that. And a little ultramarine to darken it up. Wet into wet. Maybe that comes forward like that. There we go. And a little bit of Viridian on there to indicate some of these desert plants that are tumbleweeds and things that are hanging around. And before you know it, you've got a nice little desert landscape going on. I'm just playing right now, which is what everybody should be doing when they're learning watercolor, because that's the kind of the foundation of it. So in goes more burnt sienna here, where you want some of your darks to be. Maybe back behind here. I'm gonna just push that in there and let that come around there. A little more dark here where it turns the corner. So watercolor is kind of simple in a way. If you want it darker, use thicker paint, or use a staining dark paint to really get it the darks that you want. Or go ahead and use a second wash after the first one dries and lay it on top, and you'll get darker and darker as you need without getting it looking too muddy. So there we go. Anyway, so I'm kind of liking the way that all looks together, keeping it pretty limited to Viridian, Opera, this color here that I've used, this light creamy color, which I'm going to tell you right now what it is, because I've got my whole palette of paints right here. I just have to dig. As you can imagine, I have a temporary studio set up, and it's a little tricky to find everything. All week I've been distracted with lots of errands, looking at new homes and looking at options for remodeling another one that we're looking at. So it's keeping me quite busy. Now these are some fun colors that I really like. These are Turner watercolors. And that's what I put mostly in this little palette, because they're colors I don't use a lot, but when I want them, I have them in this little Meaden watercolor palette, and I have them labeled, but this one right here, which I can't think of the name of right now, is escaping me. So oh, it's Buff. It's Buff. I think it's Buff Titanium. That's it. So it's a buff color. And I don't know. I must have 100 tubes of paint here, so I won't bother to look all through them, but I'm pretty sure that's Buff Titanium. So that's what I'm mixing with the opera to make this rosy kind of color in the landscape. And I think this would look really cool on smooth watercolor paper, hot press, but I don't have any right in front of me, so I'm going to go ahead and do this probably on my favorite sketchbook paper right now, and then we'll see how it goes. So anyway, I have this little, well, this is Visual Art Journal 140-pound watercolor paper. This is cold press. We'll use that for this little one, and then if we have time, maybe we'll do another one with different. So anyway, that's our little, this is our plan, and here's the drawing. So let's use the colors from our plan and see what happens. Alrighty. Maybe I can tilt that a little bit. Time for a break. Okay, so let me just check on. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and paint this little guy. And I think we'll leave this guy in the background just like really light. I may just put the lightest of lightest pink in there. Just like that. And that's just my formerly mixed up color here of opera mixed with a little bit of that buff titanium and left over whatever is on my palette, that leftover burnt orange. So that's very pale, and that's okay. Now we'll put the mountains in with my ultramarine in the background here. I want them really faint, but just, there we go. And maybe as they come forward it gets a little darker, so we'll add a little bit more pigment. And I could put a tiny bit of that opera color in there to kind of have that purple echo, some of the pink, to use more of a little bit of a unified, using the same colors that I've decided to use all along. So if I'm going to mix up my ultramarine blue and I want to red it down a little, why not put a little bit of that opera in there to purple it up a bit right there for my foreground mountain shape, like that. And I'll just add a little water and bring it down right across that cactus, because that's going to get painted green anyway. And as I come down to the foreground here, I'm going to add some water and just float it across, kind of with the damp brush, just like clean out your brush and add some water to that. And that is going to, just want to tilt it a little bit. That's going to leave a soft edge, and then I can go in with my opera and my buff and put in the lightest shade of this. Oh, that's not very light, but I want it to be soft there along that edge, as if that little bit of desert, those weeds there are soft and fluffy, like in this picture. So right there it's doing a nice thing, and then it's whisking up into the part of the painting that's more dry. So it's blossoming up there, which is fine. And as I come down the page, I want to warm it up a little bit. So that's a good time to maybe add that burnt orange into there. But I want it really weak. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of burnt sienna in there. Just a little bit. I want to get some dark tones in that foreground. There we go. And while I'm doing that, I can drop a little bit here and there. A little bit darker here where it comes forward. I think I'll put some music on. I want to turn this up a bit. There we go. So nobody is saying much in the chat, so I'm wondering if we're not having anybody very chatty today. All right, let's go here to, let me just, I feel like some music, so I'm going to put my music on. There we go. That's good. All right, I'm looking at this dry on this cheap sketchbook paper, and I kind of like what it's doing. So that's our first wash. See the blooms? The water will whisk upwards into the areas that are more dry. So that's why it causes the bloom, is you put a little wet wash right underneath an area that's already been painted that's drying. So you get that whiskey thing. I'm kind of letting it dry a little bit, and then we'll just keep painting. One of the nice things, I'm picking up some Viridian now. I'll make a puddle of that. And if I had time today, I would set up my other camera, which I now have because I just got it out of one of my storage areas. But then you could see my palette, but right now you can't. And it's not because I'm choosing to hide it, it's because I haven't had time to set up my other camera. So there we go. So I'm going to pick up a little Viridian, and I'm going to mix it with my Ultramarine. And then we'll just put the Viridian in first here, mixed with a little Ultramarine. And then into that we can go into, I can add a tiny bit more straight ultramarine, and then hit it with, I don't want it too wet, I want kind of a little bit of a creamier orange, burnt orange color, because I kind of want it to push the other color around a little. There we go. This may end up looking a little bit more. Oh, let's get a little more Viridian. I'm just going to drop some in. It's going to push that other orangey one around a little bit. And clean up the shape where I need to on the edges. And then let's go ahead and mix kind of a dark, a little ultramarine. Oops, let's see here. Where's my ultramarine? Down here where the corners kind of meet, there's a lot of darkness, so I'll just tap that in and then be done with that. And back here, that little cactus. That looks good. I don't know, I just feel like I need to put one right here, so maybe we'll put one there. And I wish you could see the colors, how cool this looks. But I don't think it shows up quite as well without my light being set up. You just can't see the transparency in this. If I drop in a little more red. Yeah, you really can't see it, but it's very pretty, so I hope you're able to try that. That burnt orange and Viridian together. It's really pretty. Okay. So let's try and get our path going here. While I have this nice dark on my paintbrush, I'm going to go ahead and put it here. And to darken it, I'm going to add some Viridian and Burnt Sienna, especially the Viridian back here in this edge is going to be pretty. I might change the shape of that edge a little, the path. And I want this connected to the other parts of this, so I'm gonna loosen a little bit of some of these edges. Put a little bit of green in there. And over here, some shapes that can be in between. I'm kind of negative painting shapes to help indicate some of that some of these weeds, these tumbleweeds. And everything has to be connected in your painting, so figure out a nice way to make that happen. More Viridian with the right here along this edge. It's going to be a little some sort of little plant there. So I'm going in pretty creamy with a mix of that orange and Viridian. Well, it's Burnt Orange, I believe, is the technical term for that color. There's a few varieties of it, so it might be Burnt Orange, it might be, you know, maybe a little shadow coming off this cactus here. Move that around a little bit. So well, that's organic vermilion. That's not what I'm using. I'm using these Quinacridone colors. So I was going to look here in my transparent Pyrrole Orange. That would be a good one to use in this case. And this one I love, love, love. It's, well, that's it. Transparent Pyrrole Orange. It's almost empty. And what else do I have on here? Okay. Let's go. Oops. Okay, and here's Quinacridone Sienna. That's another pretty color. Let's just put a dab out here so you can see it. Ooh, that may be what... Is that the same color I'm using? No, I don't think so. This Quinacridone Sienna has a little bit more orange in it than the Quin Burnt Orange, I think. So this is the Quinacridone Sienna that I just put in here. But you could use that with Viridian as well. It'd be beautiful. I love the burnt orange colors of the desert and all the rocks and everything. So use your imagination. Now let's see. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna check one thing. All right, back to Pinterest. There we go. All right, let's continue making this foreground. So we'll just add another layer of, I want to keep kind of the middle part, this midground real light. We'll just put hints of some of this color to indicate some shadows. The other thing that I'm seeing back here are some shadows on the ground that are kind of a greenish. And look how beautiful that is. And of course I can make it darker. So that's just mixing a lighter shade of the Viridian with my orange color. And you can put it in there to make the shadows across the desert here. And I love the pink underneath. And I can splatter a little bit of that in there. And I can also use that to dot across some of this rocky foreground here. And if I want to darken it up in any areas, just add a little bit more pigment in whatever color. If you want it to go warm, add, you know, your Quin Sienna or Quin Burnt Orange or whatever. Maybe by next week I'll have my other camera set up. Oh, hey Paulina. Oh, I am so sorry. You know, I posted on, I posted the wrong time. I posted Pacific Standard Time instead of Mountain Standard Time because I was confused. We are on Mountain Standard Time, which is, you know, like Denver time. So Arizona is special in that it's on Mountain Time right now, and in the spring it doesn't change time. So when California changes to Pacific time, Arizona stays and does not change time in the spring. Is the way it was explained to me earlier today. So anyway, yes, so now this will be the, how is my move? Oh my God, it's been crazy. So the movers came. It's been 1 week already that we've been in Phoenix. So the movers came and packed us up, and they put everything in storage, and now we're in Phoenix, and we are getting settled. We think we're going to buy a house that needs remodeling, and we just met with the contractor and an architect, so to help us with the remodel. And so far it's going forward. And the funny thing is that, oh, my sister just woke up. She said she was napping, but she's going to join us now. So the move so far has been pretty good. I'm really quite happy in my new place, although we're staying with friends right now, so we're gonna have to probably find some permanent quarters here. So I have a little studio set up in a spare bedroom, and that's where I'm streaming from today. Yes, it is Phoenix. Yeah. So we're getting settled. I should have Joe come in and say hi in a bit, but we don't know how like if we go with this remodel on this house, it's not going to be ready until probably October. So we'll be interim. I'm not sure where we'll be, but anyway, it's been very hard for me to, I don't know where any of my supplies are. It's a little bit crazy, but so I'm not very coordinated with, but I'm intent on continuing to stream anyway. It's just going to take me a while to get, everything organized, but here we go. Anyway, it's okay. So I'm doing this little desert landscape today. What have you been up to, Paulina? You're in the dead of winter there, right? I need a little bit more pink in here. I'll tell you, it gets cold at night here. I think it was down to 38 this morning when we got up, but this afternoon in about an hour, it's supposed to be a high of 70, I think. So this is the kind of landscape that I've been looking at, and it's just so much fun to, be somewhere new, especially for an artist to have new inspiration, So I'm really looking forward to exploring and getting out and painting, and I'm seeing lots of pink in this. I just want to touch in there because, pink's a strong color and you don't want your painting to be pink, but I'm using a little bit of opera, and oh yeah, send me a picture of your Christmas tree. It's quite cold, but not that bad yet. Okay, good. Yeah, I remember in Wisconsin when I lived there how cold it would get. In December usually wasn't that bad, but come January and February it would be cold. A little bit of pink over here maybe. Let me see this. Oh, how pretty is that? Oh my God, I love it. Oh, that is so sweet. It's like classic, traditional Christmas tree. I love it. How fun is that? I'm looking at your ornaments. Oh, how pretty. One year I made ornaments with, I made my own paper, and then I bought paper molds that were ceramic. And so you'd mush the paper, what do you call it? Not mulch, but the pulp. You know, you'd blend up the paper with some kind of other powdery stuff you put in there, and so you make the pulp, and then you smush it into the molds and bake them, and then you would pop out the paper ornaments, and then we painted them. It was really a fun thing to do. And if I ever get my studio up and running, I'll bake off some more of those, if I still have them. I think I do. They're in with my Christmas storage stuff. And that was really fun. So let me see the other. Oh, look at that at night, all lit up. How's your job going? I hope it's going good. Let's see, let's go back to, let's see what. Telling my sister you're online. Okay. And back to Pinterest. There we go, to our cactus. I'll put me in the corner here. Let's shrink me down a little bit. Maybe if I put it like that, you can see it better. There we go. All right, now what you could do is you could draw in these striations in very dark with Burnt Sienna. Is that JoJo? Burnt Sienna and Viridian. Mix them up thick to make a dark. And if it's still not dark enough, add a little ultramarine and you'll get a nice dark. And we can put the stripes in this cactus because it's in the foreground, it's close up, so that's where you put your details. And that really looks pretty on there. Makes it look like a real cactus. And then over here we could build in some cactus here if we wanted to with a few shapes. And of course the one in the back you can't see any stripes, but I can put on one side a little shadow. It's not close enough for... All right. You got promoted! Yay! Oh, you're sewing a tree decoration. Oh, how cute. I used to sew, but I don't do sewing anymore. I knit once in a while, which is really fun. All my knitting stuff right now is in storage. So I'm just gonna... I'd love to see your owl when you're done with it. I'm just gonna add a few darks here to help indicate the shadows here on the floor of the whatever's here, and maybe along here, along my path. And maybe back there a little bit. And maybe a little more Viridian. So how's it going there with COVID, Paulina? Is it getting any better? Here it's, you know, we're in the winter and it's gotten a little worse, of course, because And so lots of things are shut down, especially in California. But in Phoenix, I mean, like, they're not as political and bureaucratic, so we can still go to places for dinner and go to parks and have some freedom, as long as we're careful and not stupid about it, you know. Some people are. Let's see. Actually, what I like about this image I'm looking at is some of the these weed branches here are actually white. Now, I can't really paint them in white, but I can put a little bit of Viridian on here with some of that buff titanium, and I just dot some of that around. And then the pink behind it will become the branches that maybe are poking through. There we go. And I think I'll just put a couple sprigs there. And towards the back, I'm gonna just put a tiny bit of this pink back there and let it dot it just a little. Put a little bit of that tone underneath where it's a little bit of that orange tone under there. And then if I drop in that buff titanium, it'll push that pink around and really look pretty. So I think with this, we can have a lot of fun with this color palette, and make a bigger painting. I think you could even use the buff titanium to, or buff, I think it's called buff titanium. You could use that to make a few of these branch colors kind of stick out. And I could use it on the top of this cactus for a highlight. If I wanted. Not better, not worse. Okay, that's good. You can't have dinners at the place, only takeaways. Oh no. Yeah, here we can have dinner inside. But some places like, you know, New York, they just slapped on a law again where there's no inside dining. It's horrible for New York City because a lot of those restaurants are going under. It's become a ghost town. Lots of other cities as well, LA and San Francisco. And a lot of it, it's funny, it's political, you know. Some states are just and I think people are getting sick of it. These business owners that are not able to make a living are unfortunately they're speaking out. No, I mean, fortunately, they're speaking out because they don't seem to have a voice for people. People want the businesses to stay open, but they can't with the government shutting things down. Anyway. Okay, now I think my one layer in the back here, I think that could be a little bit, I'm going to put a little thin coat of Viridian over that. Very transparent layer to just darken that up. Viridian, maybe a little more blue. And I'm going to mix in my, there we go. A little bit more of a purpley glaze over my mountains in the background. Now the desert's really going to be on fire here. Now, because this is a sketchbook, I can take my damp brush and go over some of these areas in the back so that it can kind of soften up. And I'm not worried about it. In fact, some of this I'll put my blue in there again, along with the opera. And you know, when I change to do this as a real watercolor, I may use something besides opera because it is fugitive, and I may, you know, change it up with a different let's put a little bit more color on those mountains back there. There we go. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love these colors too. They're really pretty, and I wish you could see it better. I'll get my studio set up better next week maybe and have my lights back and my other camera so you can see the palette, my palette, and I think I'll go ahead and, let's see, do I like the sky well enough? I got that thing on there, I don't need that there. I think I might put just another hint of this blue right on there. You want like a little bit of atmospheric effect back there, pushing these things into the background. Layers of depth. A little bit more color on this. There we go. All right, I think I'll take this tape off. And we'll have a nice clean edge. All done on cheap sketchbook paper. And remember, if things don't look exactly, if you know, like on this edge, I feel like I could have left a little bit of a highlight there. So I think I'll just lift it out with a chisel edge synthetic brush. If I get it damp and then suck all the water out, then I can put it on here and see that nice light I just lifted out? You might not be able to see it very well, but I'll exaggerate it like that. And then maybe right here a little bit. You could even do it, like take it down into there. Now I'll lift it up so you can see it close. See how I lifted out this edge and this edge right here. Could do the same here if we wanted some of this to be just pick up some. I can turn that. And if you want, maybe since I kind of have the sun coming from this side, I can just make that edge go all the way down there and maybe lift another little bit there. Yeah, I don't know if you, I'm using transparent pyrrole orange, and you could also use this Quinacridone Sienna, which I bought because I saw, there's another guy who paints online who uses it quite a lot with Indie Blue, and that's a really nice combination. I want to see your owl you're working on. I'll tell you what I did today. I have to show you. Let me just go get it while you're getting your owl. Maybe you can show me your owl. I want to show you what I did this morning, which my sister's going to flip out because I do it almost every year and everybody loves my cookies I make. So hold on, let me just put on my fancy BRB. I'll be right back. This is what I made today. Gingerbread cookies. I haven't frosted them yet. So I got little ones, and I got a snowman shape and a star. Oops, gotta get that thing off there. There we go. Little ones. And then I frost them with royal icing. I made a whole batch. There's like 40 cookies. So this afternoon I'm going to frost them. And I just take the royal icing really thin and I just like drizzle it across so it gets really it's just a really fun decorative top for the cookies. Yes, I have cookie cutters. And I have a really good recipe, which I can post. Actually, I think I can just send it to you because I took pictures of it. Terry says nice cookies. Terry, I've got gingerbreads. I have a really good recipe for those. I think this is the only painting I'm going to do today, so we'll take a picture of that and put it on our Facebook group page, or Instagram or whatever. But let me just look on here for my recipe. And then I can just send it to you. Let's see. Let's see, that's way back. I think it's way back here. If you want the recipe. Yeah, I had to go buy new gingerbread cutouts and the star shape and everything because mine are in storage. So we went out and got new cookie cutters. Oops. Somebody's trying to call me from San Diego. All right, here it is. Okay. I'm trying to get it without the shadow in there. So that's the recipe. If you want to take a screenshot, and then if I go to the next page here, that's how you do it. And what I'll do is send you the recipe. Whoops. Let's see. Oh, Paulina, do I have you on Messenger? I have to do it through Instagram, I think. I can send it to Julie, though. She's going to be surprised to get that. Oh, you did screenshots. Okay, good. Yeah, that's my recipe, and I love it. Love, love, love it. It's a really good recipe. Do you have molasses there in Poland? I imagine you do. Because the recipe calls for molasses. I'm sure you have something similar, if it's not the same thing. And I think I'll just send this to my Gmail just because then I have it. These are gingerbread. After I decorate them, I'll put a picture on Instagram and Facebook because they're really fun to decorate. Okay. All right. Well, I think that is all I'm going to do for today. My little stream. And I want to see your owl, Paulina. And then, yeah, this was fun. This little desert landscape. I was going to maybe do it like a Christmas wreath or something. But I don't know, Terry, what do you think? Should I do a Christmas wreath? Oh, your owl will be ready in 5 minutes? All right. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say BRB for a minute, and then I'm going to start a Christmas wreath, which I think will be really fun. So I saw one on, I think it was Instagram today. Someone did it for Daniel Smith, and it was like a fast forward kind of thing, a sped up version of a Christmas wreath, but I thought it was really pretty, so maybe we'll try to do that next. Okay, I'm gonna go get a refill on my drink and I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. So I'm gonna flip this and we're gonna get a new page going for my Christmas wreath. Let's see if this is straight. Terry, are you painting? Pretty soon we'll be able to have classes in person in Phoenix. I have a little studio space picked out, and I can have 3 students there, or well, 3 to 4. Actually, I think 4, because I can have 4 sitting at the table, and I always stand when I paint, especially if I'm teaching something. It's easier to do it for me standing up, so I don't need a place to sit down, or I can sit off to the side. But in the studio where I'm going to be, she just has a small table for 4, but that's okay. All right, now I'm going to go to the Daniel Smith site on Instagram, which is where I saw this. Actually, here, maybe I'll take a photograph of this while I'm here. Oh, I can't do it. I got my tape up there. It's causing a problem. Let's see if I can. There we go. Maybe we'll take a picture of it. I've got to get out of the way of the light. Okay. And we'll edit this down. There we go. There. All right. And let's go back to Instagram here. I'm going to search Daniel Smith because that's where I saw the demo earlier. Oh, look at this one. This is really pretty. Wow, is that gorgeous? Isn't that beautiful? It's like holly with the berries. Somebody did that gorgeous watercolor. Wow. The perfect red and green for the season. Thanks for sharing. Hill Kurtz. Wow, that's a gorgeous watercolor. Beautiful. But I did see one earlier that was... Oh, I'm pretty sure it was... Boy, that's a pretty blue. Iridescent electric blue. Ooh, how fun is that color? It says it's non-staining. Excellent light fastness. And it's transparent. I love the black over the top of it. Okay, so let's go. Oh. I'm not seeing that wreath that I saw online. Well, we could do the other one maybe. I don't really want to copy per se, but I just want to do a sketch and practice it. That's how you learn. But I really enjoyed the wreath one. I'm not sure who did it though. Well, let's go back to my feed and see if I can find... Oh! Paulina, there's your... Is that your owl? Oh my gosh, she's so cute! Did you knit the scarf? He's really sweet. Oh, he's very sweet. Was that like a kit, or did you come up with that by yourself? That was very sweet. Have you made any other ones? He's so cute. It's kind of fun to do crafts at this time, right? Do you have some days off for Christmas? I'm going to go back to my feed and see if I can find that. Who is that? If I can find that wreath, the fast forwarded wreath thing. Oh, here's Sarah's. What's Sarah up to? Sarah's got some beautiful landscapes going on. Sarah Burns. Let's see. Ooh, look at the close-up. That texture and color. I love it. Highland Dream 2, oil on canvas. Nice work, Sarah. Okay, let's see if I can. Oh, Orthodox. Okay, so you'll celebrate Christmas the 7th of January, and you have the day off on Friday. Oh, the owl was the first one you did? Well, it really turned out cute. Really cute. Okay, let's see. Ooh, wow. Central Park in the winter. Look at that, Paulina. That's really pretty. Oh, there's my friend Dory's painting. And Jones. Okay. Oh, wow, look at that. All right, let's see. You know, there's another girl that does really cute, sweet little watercolors. And she's been practicing and learning, and she has lots of different little graphic things that she does, but she's been learning to paint at the beach, and she lives near my old neighborhood, and this is one of her little beach watercolors she's working on, and her name is Patty Iba Art. You can see it there. So I like to see what she's working on. That's cute. Little beach scene. She was able to paint it before her hands got too numb in Southern California. Nobody's at the beach except for the surfers. That's true. All right, let's see. I keep scrolling. I might find the wreath I want to do. Oh, wow, that's pretty. That's not it, though. Ooh, here's a pretty watercolor someone did. Look at that one. Paulina, you should, you know, I know they have really beautiful churches there, and sometimes doing the interiors as a painting is really, really fun. Especially during the season when things are lit up, or even a night scene, you know, with the cathedrals lit up. That would be a nice, fun thing to paint and to take images of. Oh, here's the name I was trying to think of. Michael Soloviev. He's a great watercolorist, and he does a demo every Monday. Look at his sketchbook of these people. Isn't it amazing? He does it all, but these are really sweet, his little sketches of people. Every Monday he does 15-minute watercolor online, and It's always fun to watch him and get inspired. Still looking for my wreath demo here. You like the one with the sea? Yeah, the sweet little watercolor. Yeah, look her up. Patty Eba Art, I think, is what it's under. I'm not having any luck finding my wreath that I saw earlier, the wreath demo. So maybe I'll just bag it. If it doesn't come up quick. Oh my God, look at this little baby. That's funny. Oh. Oh, this is a sweet little one. Look at this. Look at the bird. Isn't that a sweet little watercolor? Oh, that's Blanca Alvarez. If you don't follow Blanca Alvarez, that you should. Very good watercolorist. 2,500 people liked her little post there with the bird. We could try and do one like that. Let's do it with a bluebird though, since I can't find the other one I was gonna do. Why don't we go ahead and do this one, but we'll do it with the bluebird since I like bluebirds. I'll just zoom in and we'll do a little sketch of a branch here. Like that. Maybe some berries hanging off of this. And I'm just totally making this up, the sketch, based on a rough version of what I'm seeing from her demo there, or her image. I like to make leaves, pointy long leaves. Maybe we'll do a little one there and another one there. Things look good in pairs of 3, so if something looks off to you, add a couple more so that it has a little bit of balance with pairs of 3. And if an area in your painting looks like it's missing something, that's a good spot to put a new some little kind of embellishment. So there we go, and we'll make kind of a firm branch here where this little bird will be popping up. Now, I don't do birds very much, so this is good practice. All right, let's make a tail and maybe some kind of little wing there, and this little head with the beak, and a big puffy breast like that. Maybe it'll be like a blue jay. I'm totally making this up, so it's going to be my impression of a bird. And his little feet have to be hanging on a branch here, so I need to create a branch And put his little feet right under him there, like that. The hint of an eye there might be a good idea. I have his breast kind of a little bit too big under his. I want it more like, no, I actually liked it better the way it was. I want it puffy, but not too puffy. Maybe that'll be okay. Make his head a little bigger. There. I don't want his tail too long. Maybe like that. All right, now a few more little berries. Let's make them a little bit smaller. I think I got them a little too big. There we go. Maybe a couple leaves there. And maybe another little... I think I like it better if... well, like that. Also, I noticed the berries are clumped together instead of separated. So I'll just change these a bit. All right, I think that's good enough for a start. Since I'm gonna try and make him like a bluebird, I need to think of a color. Blue and yellow and orange look good together. Let's see. Do I have my color wheel somewhere? Sometimes I just pull it out for inspiration. Oh, here it is. So I like the idea of bright blues for the bluebird. So we'll put the color wheel right at there. And then if we go to some of the opposites, blue and orange would look good if you want to do it directly across. Or we could go to more of a blue violet, which would be nice for a blue jay. And then go to a yellow orange, or you could do a split complementary and do yellow and more yellow and orange. Well, that would look nice with the berries. I think we're going to use like this one though. We'll go to a triad. We'll do a blue violet, a green, yellow green, and a red orange. I think that'll be pretty. So let's try that. So you see how this is the triad? Blue, green, and orange. Let's use that. So for a blue, I want to tilt this a little bit. Oops. I still want to use a tilt it up like that. minute. Oh, you were playing an online game called GeoGuessr. Okay, they put me on a random location on the Google Maps. You had to guess where in the world I am. You were put in North Carolina once. It was just forest and road for a solid 10 miles. Really? I've never heard of that game. It sounds like fun. Oops, I need to go back to my bird here. Well, why don't we go ahead and look up a picture of a bluebird so we have some reference. And let me search bluebirds. Oh, look how pretty they are with the orange. This is what I was thinking, like this. Isn't that pretty? All right. That's not exactly what I've drawn. Because I just drew something without a reference, but this little one, he could be sweet. And I like it with the green. And remember when I just said I was going to use that blue, orange, and green triad with the violet blue. So those were good choices. And nature, right? Nature always tells you what colors to use. Look at how beautiful that is. But we're going to put some orange berries on there, and we won't make the leaves, these leaves as bright green because it's the dead of winter. But sometimes what happens here in winter is that things start to bloom because, you know, like in North Carolina, it wouldn't get that cold, and so things start blooming. Even my hydrangeas had like green buds on them when we left. So anyway, let's try and get a really pretty blue going. And what shall I do in the background here? I'd like to switch this bird around since I have the image now. Maybe I'll turn his head, completely go away from. I like the way this bird has I'm gonna change him up. He's got his going that way, and then here making it bigger too. His head comes around like that. Put his beak here, and then his head there, like that. And his eyeball is right there. Oof. Some fluffiness there. Make him bigger. And we'll make his feet, his little feet grabbing a thick branch. Maybe I'll pull another branch in here across that he's grabbing onto. Just for fun. Seems like a mockingbird. So do you play that game often, Paulina? I think it's kind of cool that you can go online and have a game with anyone, just like, you know, playing Scrabble, or I used to do that. I forget what it was called online, the website, but that was always fun to do. There's definitely an art to doing birds, which I'm not a bird painter, but I'll try anything that looks like fun. Okay. We're just all over the place today, aren't we? Okay. I need something down here. Maybe I'll just make another branch going off in that direction. And one going up there. You always need to keep an open mind when you're doing artwork, because it's better to have things fluid and changing than being rigid. Seems like a mockingbird. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Some kind of bluebird. This should be bigger here. This part of this wing. Just cleaning up my drawing a little bit here. Then we're going to paint it kind of quickly, I think, I hope, because Joey D is going to be cooking, he's barbecuing today, chicken for our friends that we're staying with. Now this little leaf here is kind of, I don't really need it there because it's intersecting too much with his, what's going on, and I need some open space, and I feel like I just need a little, just a little bit of something there. So there we go. All right, let's paint. I'm going to erase out a little bit more of this. I have a lot of graphite in here, so you don't really want that in your watercolor. Just get rid of some of that. draw it dark so you can see it, and then I want to just go over it and lightly get rid of some of those pencil lines. All right, let's do this kind of quickly. So I'm just going to use a blue violet, so maybe I'll just grab some cobalt blue. And I kind of liked it mixed with my opera that I had from before, so I think it'd be pretty if I make it kind of a purpley blue violet. Let's go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to use the same kind of orangey color that we were using earlier today. I don't really want that to go there, but I have a little bit too much water on my paintbrush, and I'm using the big brush, so it's I don't want to be too fussy. I just want to get a first layer on there. I'm going to leave a little bit of white area. This blue should come down here like that. And there's some really dark in there, if I can get enough. Need my spray bottle. My palette's dried up. I need to mix up a pile. When I was doing a watercolor workshop online with one of the guys, he kept talking about using his emergency dark, and in this case it's probably a good idea to have a little bit of emergency dark mixed up for when you need to make those, like these darks on the end of this bird's feathers as it comes across here. And I'm gonna save that white right there. Emergency dark. That was Vladislav Yelisyev. I'm probably saying his name a little bit wrong, but I think that's how it is. So I've got my emergency dark in there. Not a bad looking bird so far, if I don't blow it. And his eye, I just want to save a little glint of white in his eye. Let's see if I can do it. There we go. That looks nice. And then on his beak, it's a little dark there. And I really want this to come around more, a little bit more shape here. So we're gonna alter the shape there a little bit. I think this part of his tail could have been more this way, but it's kind of too late to change that now. Maybe I can just add some more blue. So let's see. This goes this way. And should have been pointed more down. Oh well. Maybe a little bit more down this way. I can fake it. Just do a little dry brush there, like it's his tails. There we go. That's already almost dry, the poofy orange part. I'm gonna get a little bit smaller brush, I think a little easier. Oops, just gonna get a little bit orange pigment around some of this area. It's getting late for you there, Paula. It must be about your bedtime. Okay, let's see here. We'll get a little bit of orange down here. So are you going to make some more ornaments for your tree, like the owl? Boy, you could do a whole bunch of different ones, huh? And this fluffs out to white, so we'll just make that edge kind of floofy there. And right up against here we'll make it dark. A little bit of darkness on there. All right. I'm going to put a tiny bit of that orange on his tail too to make that dark back there. And also here. All right, now I need a background color and I want to use a light blue. So let's see if I can find, I think what would be pretty actually is this. It's not a very good color for a wash necessarily. It's got a little bit of opaqueness to it, but I like the blue color, so we're going to use that. And I said we're going to use blue violet, but I'm actually going to a little bit of a blue green, so I can add a little bit of my pink to that to turn it into a violet color. And I'll just wash that in. So my color palette is supposed to be blue violet and yellow green and red orange. So the green, we can make that a little bit more yellowy to suggest some greenery just by dropping in a little bit of that green gold in there. And that's kind of pretty. And that gives us that yellow green, the green gold. And of course I added a little bit of this, a little bit of blue green with the with that teal I just put in there, but that's okay. All right, just a tiny bit of that. All right, let's go back to this purple. blue violet. I see my host outside there in the yard. He's doing a landscape project, which is kind of fun. So he's trying to figure out and I'm gonna go help him look at that, see what he wants to do. So there's my bird. I feel like I want a little more green in there. I'm gonna pop some of that in on the bottom, just drop it in. And I might splatter a little bit around where I'm gonna put these berries. And I'm going to use that orange and burnt sienna for this twig that this branch that he's on. So I'll just drop that in. The colors are just all going to mix together very loosely, and that's what we want. Okay, I need some burnt sienna here. So I'm going to drop a little bit more in here and there. That's pretty good for a first wash. I'm just laying in some shapes. You can see how things settle and then go back in with your next step, which is going to be some more darker values. I'm going to pick up some more of that green gold that's in here, and I'm gonna dump it in here and there, because this, I'm not liking this this aqua blue in there that much. I'm not sticking to my color palette that I said I was going to use. Just going to tip that up to let it bleed a little. And I think I'll accentuate some of those purple tones that I had up here. And that was just my ultramarine with the opera. What part of the world do these birds live? I think they're just a variety of bluebird that we get in the States. We used to, they were endangered. I think they still are, but lots of people have been making, especially in North Carolina, they're making bluebird houses so that the birds can come back. And in fact, they had on the news recently, there's a group of men in North Carolina that are retired, and they make bluebird houses, which they sell. Not for profit, but like other people, other charities and stuff sell them, maybe for profit. But yeah, I want to tone down this green a little. It's just a little too wild for me. And they're really sweet, and we would get them, but you know, rare. They're more rare. So if you go to Pinterest, Paulina, you can look up, you know, the bluebirds. There's the purple I like in there. And I kind of feel like I'm doing this pretty intuitively, so I encourage everybody to try and paint that way. Start with the plan and then do your own thing. And I think over on this side, maybe if since I have a lot of blue, and kind of, that's a nice color there. Maybe on the other side I need a little more warm, so maybe I'll just pick up, since I'm supposed to have my color palette with my orange, my triad with my red orange, I think we'll put some of these berries in with the orange color. I can just drop them in. It's a little bit too wet for that, but I wanted to make this part here a little more warm. So let's see. I'm picking up cat orange right now, and actually I don't want to use cat orange that much because I'm really enjoying this other Quin orange, or Quin Burnt Sienna, whichever you have. All right, well, I'm kind of liking the way that's looking, just like that. I think I might stop right there and just see how that dries, and then I think I'm going to put an indication maybe of his feet there. So, you've never seen such birds in your life? Oh, really? Huh. Well, if I go to let me go to Google and I'll show you, Paulina. Bluebirds of North. They're really beautiful, and they're so bright blue. Okay, here you go. So, no, wait, that's a painting. Wait, sorry, I don't want to go there. Go back. Go back. There's an eastern bluebird right here. Oops, sorry, I gotta get it so the light's not. That's a bluebird of happiness. Ooh. Look at that one. That's a black-throated blue warbler. Eastern bluebird. So this is the kind we would get, like in North Carolina. Just gorgeous. A mountain bluebird. So lots of people buy little bluebird houses to try to get them to come back because, you know, they're kind of endangered. Here's the Carolina bluebird. Isn't he cute? So pretty. Let's see if I can find some more. Right, go back. How do I go back? Wait. Let's see if there's any more. Oh, there's a painting. Eastern Bluebird's painting. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Carolina Bluebird. they cute? I love that electric blue on there. That Daniel Smith blue we just saw online. It'd probably be really good on there. Oh well, you get the idea. Here's another one. Oh, the Eastern Bluebird. That guy's cute. So, anyway, put him up there. Well, I think I'll just take the tape off of here. I probably do need to do a couple more little things. A couple more little things on my drawing, maybe to bring out a couple of these leaves. And then, let's see. My green should be like a warm yellowy green, but I don't want it too bright. I need to tone it down, so maybe I'll just take that green gold, oops, and add a little bit of that purple to it that I've been using, and then that'll give me kind of a dull, yeah, there we go, nice dull green color to make some of these leaves. That's too wet down there. And then a little splatter in there. And maybe just a tiny bit of warm color around his head. And he's about done. Don't be afraid to put some darks in there. Even if you don't know what it is, just put them in because it will help your painting pop. All right. So we did our desert painting today and then our little Eastern Bluebird. Super cute. He is super cute. I need to make his breast a little more bulby, but I'll get him going here. A little more. What he needs is a tiny bit of this Hansa yellow, because they have a little bit of yellow, yellowish warm color, not just orange, but like that bright pop of yellow right there will really help him. Try to soften that line. Anyway, this maybe should be a little more right there. All right, kids, that's it for today. Paulina, thanks for hanging out with us. Maybe I'll get back on later this week. Maybe we'll do a special stream for Christmas with some more, if I have time this week to do some more painting. I'll try and do the wreath that I saw that I wanted to do. And that would be fun, a fun project. So we'll see you, here, let me take this tape off. We'll see you on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. What up, R? Here we go. Well, I had fun. I hope you had fun hanging out. You like both of them? Oh, good. I do too. Yeah, I'm happy with both of them. They're cute. See you soon. Have a good week. You too. Take care, Paulina. So this one, and then I think we'll leave it at that. But this is the other one we did today. All right. Very good, friends. We'll see you next week. Bye.